Hello students, today we are going to cover section 9.4, which is on volumes of prisms. Okay, so the word volume, okay, talking about three-dimensional figures, right? So if you had like a box, okay, that's the amount of space that it occupies. Okay, so it's kind of synonymous, wow, big word there, to if we had just like a two-dimensional figure, the area inside is called area, right? So now that we have a three-dimensional figure, okay, the space that fills the box, all of that inside is volume, okay? And it is measured in cubic units, okay? So units cubed. Whereas when we had our two-dimensional, we had units squared. Okay, so kind of good to know the difference. Okay, so in words, the volume of a prism is the product. So product means multiply of the area of the base and the area of the height. Okay, so we see it's good to know the difference between base and everything else. Okay, so this top one in red would be the area of the base. We also have the base, area of base in this one. And it is the triangle. Okay, and then you have to multiply it by the height, so how tall it is. So these are the two different kind of figures we will be looking at finding the volume. Okay, so algebraically, you can call that volume. The formula is B times H. Okay, but the base, remember you have to find the area of that base. Okay, moving on, let's do an example. Okay, so if you have this figure in A, this is our base, right? So we have to find the area of the base, which is 6 times 8, so 48. And then we have to multiply it by the height, which is 15. So we get an area, when we multiply these all together, of 720 yards cubed. Okay, so if you notice, to find the area of the base, we multiplied the two dimensions together. But we really, all we had to do is multiply each of the dimensions together to get the volume. Okay, so in B, we're going to do this by just multiplying 4 by the 4 times the height. Okay, so 4 times 4 times 4. And you can just put that in your calculator and you will get 64 feet cubed. Okay, and hopefully that is enough examples for the area when we have this type of figure, this type of prism. Okay, now we are going to look at these triangular prisms. Okay, so we need to find the area of the base. This one, you can't just multiply all three of the numbers together like we could with the rectangular prisms. Okay, so in this one, our base, remember bases are the ones we have two of. Okay, so is this triangle. We have another triangle back there. Okay, so the height is 2 and the base is 5.5. Okay, so you have to find the area of the base first, which is a triangle, so it's 1/2 5.5 times 2. Okay, and when you calculate that out, 5.5 times 2 is 11, and when you divide by 2, you should get 5.5. Okay, and all you have to do from there is multiply it by that height of 4. Okay, and your volume will be 22 inches squared. Excuse me, inches cubed, because it's volume. Okay, let's do this again in E. Again, our base is the triangular portion. Okay, so right here, our triangle. So we have to find the area of this base. And then we can multiply it by our height. Okay, so the area of this base, again, is a triangle, so 1/2 base times height. our base is that 12, and the height of the triangle is 5. Okay, so we have to multiply that together. And then our height of the figure is that 9. Okay, so when I multiply 12 times 5, I get 60, divide it by 2 because it's a triangle, and I get 30. Okay, and then we can multiply it by our height, which is 9, and get 270 meters cubed. Okay, so we looked at finding the volume. Okay, again, this space inside of a three-dimensional figure. We just have to find the area of the base, whether that is a rectangle or a triangle. Okay, and then we are multiplying that by the height of the figure. Okay, again, when we have a triangular prism, okay, that is, the base is always going to be that triangle. Okay, so you have to take that half into consideration when finding that area. It's a little easier to find the volume of a prism when the base is a rectangle, because then you can just multiply all three numbers together. Again, you cannot do that for the triangular ones. Okay.